All right. So everybody should see my page, right? It has the page of the script. So one of the things to talk about in one of the script books, it says, how to role play effectively, right? Number one, stand up when you're role playing, right? Always smile, smile, and smile, right? People can feel your smile when you're coming through on the phone, right? The other one is be enthusiastic. So here's one of the things that you got to understand about when you're on the phone, especially with cell phones and such, that I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody until it's time to, what do you call it? Until it's time to actually start role playing. So, but one of the things about when you're on a phone, you don't transmit all the quality of sound that you would, like, say, on an old landline or especially in person, right? We transmit a lot more tonality. I mean, expressions and all that kind of stuff are in person because we limit our facial expressions and our body language, right, that the other person cannot see. So we have to make sure that our tonality is expressing our body language and how we feel. And because the sound is limited between people, the sound is limited with people going back and forth. What do you call it? On the phones than it is in real life. So it's better that, or I'm saying, excuse me. So because we have some limitations, you actually have to go over the top you have to be over the top to get a good sound across to the other person. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you. So the other thing is, positive role play manner. In other words, we're not going to, unless your role play partner tells you to give them certain objections, then everything's going to be positive, right? You're going to give them the appointment, right? Or you're going to give them a referral or something, whatever it is, right? And so, and that's kind of, the way, and then follow the scripts verbatim. You got to follow the scripts verbatim when you're role playing, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody now. So, and then, the other thing is, so I'm going to do the first one or two. So I'll do one, and then somebody, if you want to do one, then just shoot me an instant message if you're on a computer. If you're not, so now everybody else is unmuted. So here we go. I'm going to start the first one off, right? And so who wants to be my partner?
I will.
Who was that?
Richard.
Okay. Okay, Richard. So Richard will be my partner. So I'm going to call you up, and then you're going to give me a referral, right? I'm going to ask you about, and the key is when you're on this SOI script, it's important to know who you're talking to and what audience, right? So if you're talking to a young millennial, hey, who do you know that maybe recently got engaged, right? Things like that. So I know Richard is an empty nester, is a senior, so I'm going to ask him, who he knows that's older, lives in a 2-story house, right? So anyway, let's get started. So ring, ring.
Hello, this is Richard.
Yeah, hey, Richard, this is Rob Aubrey. Hey, today's call is a business call. Do you have a minute for me?
Sure.
Okay. Richard, who do you know that would like to buy or sell real estate in the next 7 to 10 days?
Well, I can't think of anybody offhand. There's a couple of neighbors who, in the neighborhood, who currently live in 2-story.
Well, no, I'll ask you. Don't read it. Just say I can't think of anyone.
Yeah, so I have a couple of neighbors.
Okay. Let me ask you this, Richard. Can you think of anybody right now that may be living in a 2-story house that would maybe like a 1-level living?
Yes, both of my neighbors.
Both of your neighbors, right? Would you mind if I call them?
Well, why don't you let me call them and let them know?
Yeah, you're thinking like an agent. Yeah, if you want to that'd be great. So, yeah, that'd be great. So, because the goal is, as an agent, my goal is I want to get the phone number out of you, Richard.
Okay. Okay.
So, would you mind if I call them so the answer? Remember, you're always giving me everything I want in role play. There's no.
All right.
You're not giving me objections unless I ask you for the objection, right?
Got it.
Got it. So would you mind if I call them and you say yes, that'd be fine, or whatever, whatever the appropriate answer is.
Sure.
And then you'll give me their name and number. Then at the end of that, I'm going to say, by the way, when do you plan on moving?
Okay.
Okay. So let's start from the beginning. Let's just run that right down. Remember, role play. You're always giving me everything I want. This is about creating positive past experiences in your mind. Got it?
Got it.
All right. Ring, ring.
Hello, this is Richard.
Hi, Richard. This is Rob Aubrey. This is a business call. Do you have a minute for me?
Sure, Rob.
Okay. Hey, Richard, who do you know that would like to buy or sell real estate in the next 7 to 10 days?
Oh, I know a couple of people, Rob.
No, right now, this one is you don't know anybody because I'm just asking you generic. Then I'm going to go into the specific question. Does that make sense?
All right.
So who do you know that would like to buy or sell real estate in the next 7 to 10 days?
I can't think of anybody offhand, Rob.
Can't think of anyone. Okay. So I appreciate that. Let me ask you this, Richard. Can you think of anyone in your area that may be a senior that's living in a 2-story home that should be in a 1-level living?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do.
Oh, okay, great. Would you mind if I gave them a call?
No, I think they would look forward to it.
Okay, great. So all I need to do is have you give me their name and number, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, when do you plan on moving?
When they carry me out.
When they carry you out, huh?
Yes, never.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't deal in land that small, Richard, so I can refer you to somebody else if you want.
Okay. Thank you, Rob.
And you'll hear that line when they carry me out. You'll hear that a lot.
Yes.
So when you can make them laugh, you'll get a referral out of them. You got a better chance of getting a referral out of them. So does anybody else want to try this?
Yeah, I'll try it.
Okay. Renee, go for it. I'll be your partner.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. Jeez. I got to put my phone on. I got to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. So.
There's a lot of feedback coming from somewhere, Rob.
Got it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not hearing as much as we did earlier.
Okay.
I mean, I hear noises, but. All right, go ahead, Renee.
Okay, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, this is Renee. This is a business call. Do you have a minute for me?
I do. Hi, Renee.
Great.
I do.
Hi, fabulous. So who do you know that would like to buy or sell real estate in the next 7 to 10 days?
Well, I can't think of anybody offhand.
Okay. So you can't think of anyone. Well, what about in, like, maybe your area, your church group, family, neighborhood, or office that may need my services at this time?
Yeah, let me stop here. Now, in the parentheses, you're not going to go through the whole list. You got to know who it is you're talking to, right?
Okay. Uh-huh.
And ask them specifically. Like how I asked Richard, who does he know? Because I know Richard lives in a 2-story, and has a 2-story unit. And I also know that Richard lives with a bunch of seniors, and some of these people can't handle the stairs. So, but if let's say you're talking to somebody young, who do you know maybe just got married, maybe just had a baby, or things like that. You got to kind of know your audience. And then when you get to that one, hey, can you think of anyone, and then get specific, and then ask them that, rather than go through that checklist.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
So you tell me what you want me to be.
Okay. So, can you think of anyone in your neighborhood that just barely got married that would need my services at this time?
There was this young couple. They just got married, and they're living with their parents, and they live right down the street from me.
Oh, great. Well, would you mind if I give them a call?
No, that'd be fine. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. By the way, when do you plan on moving?
Well, we actually been thinking about it. We're thinking about getting, something with less maintenance, less, yard care or something like that. Something with an HOA.
Oh, right. And when would that be?
Well, we're not really in a hurry, but I don't. Is it a good time to buy?
It's a fabulous time to buy.
Okay. So then you go right into. So I would go right into. Obviously you want to get into the more of the why, when, and where. But if somebody says they're doing it, then you just go right for it. Just go right into your. So, well, when would you like to be in your new place? Right. So, what part of town are you looking for? And kind of know, because remember, we're calling people we know. Right. So you know information about them already when you're calling them. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Yeah.
How about, so anybody else want to go?
I'll do it.
Well,
this is Richard.
Go for it, Richard. So, Richard, what do you want me to be as far as what am I? Who am I? You're calling.
You're going to be an old senior.
All right.
Hi there. Ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, this is Richard. Morning, Rob. This is a business call. Do you have a minute for me? Do you have a minute? All right, good. Listen, who do you know that would like to buy or sell real estate in the next 7 to 10 days?
Can't think of anyone.
Can't think of anyone. Okay. Rob, can you think of anyone in your immediate vicinity neighborhood that's living in a two-story that might be interested in moving into a Rambler?
Hey, we can hear you telling the other people on another call. Actually, I do have a neighbor down the street, a senior woman that has a two-story, and she's kind of getting up there. So anyway.
Okay, I appreciate it. Rob, would you mind if I gave her a call?
No, that'd be great.
Okay, I'll get the information from you. By the way, when do you plan on moving?
Well, Richard, we've been thinking about it ourselves. We have a house, even though we have one story. We're looking for something with an HOA that takes care of everything. Because now that we're older, we want to travel more. We want to just be able to lock the door and come back and know everything's been handled while we're gone.
Sure. And Rob, when do you anticipate doing that?
Well, we're not in an absolute hurry, but is this a good time to buy now?
Absolutely it is, and the interest rates, are receding a bit, and the market's heating up. So have you decided on a particular area that you would want to move to?
Well, we'd like to stay as close to Cottonwood Heights as we can.
Okay, all right. Well, there are a number of...
Hold on one second, Richard. Look, somebody else is having another conversation. You need to show respect to the whole group and either put yourself on mute or just not have other conversations, and I'd appreciate that. Thank you. Still doing it. I'm going to put everybody on mute and then I'll unmute you, Richard.
All right.
There you go, Richard. So.
Okay, so you said you want to stay in the Cottonwood Heights area, is that correct?
Yeah, we want to stick around here, I mean, there's a few places around that I've seen, online that it would be nice.
Sure. Okay. Well, I'd like to be able to follow up with you. Would you mind if I call you next week and or possibly visit you one-on-one? We get together?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah,
okay.
Let's get together.
Does Monday, let's say, at 5 o'clock work for you, or 6?
5 is fine.
Okay. I look forward to meeting you at 5 o'clock next Monday, and thank you for your time, Rob.
Yeah, perfect.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Perfect. So that's the thing. One of the things, when you first started off, Rich, I'll give you a little feedback.
Okay.
You were kind of almost like doing an act, right? Rather than just saying, hey, this is Richard. And you guys see where there's a fear. You got to pause, right? So you guys get a little nervous when you're going through the script. And so it looks like this. Hi, this is Rob, and this is a business call, right? ... Remember, ... equals what? You got to pause, right? This is a business call. Do you have a minute for me? Right? And they say yes. So remember, the other thing, it's not on the script book here, but one of the things you got to do is you got to repeat and affirm. Repeat and affirm. So when people speak, so a couple things it does. When you repeat what they say, right, it does a couple things. One is it tells them you're actually listening, right? The other thing it does, it actually slows you down from running them over and going right into the next line. So let's do this one more time. Does anybody else want to be my partner? I've got everybody muted. Hold on. Let me unmute everybody. So we'll do this again. Does anybody else want to do it? Look, whoever's having a conversation, please, or put yourself on mute. So does anybody want to be a role play partner with me now? I mean you, Richard. I'll put everybody on mute but you, Richard. So
ring.
No, I'm going to call you.
Okay.
But I want you guys to listen to me repeating and affirming. And I want you to tell me, and Richard, and then when we're done, I want you to describe to me how that felt to you when I repeated what you said. Now, I'm not going to repeat everything verbatim, but, if it's a long paragraph. So I'll call you. Ring, ring.
Hello, this is Richard.
Yeah, hi, Richard. This is Rob Aubrey. How are you?
I'm doing well, Rob.
Richard, this is a business call. Do you have a minute for me?
Sure, by all means.
Okay. Richard, who do you know that would like to buy or sell real estate in, say, the next 7 to 10 days?
I can't think of anyone offhand.
Can't think of anyone, huh?
No, I can't.
Okay. I appreciate that. Listen, can you think of anyone in your area that maybe is in a 2-story that should, is getting up in age and could really need a 1-level living situation?
Now that you mentioned that, yes, as a matter of fact, I have a neighbor who is getting up in age, and she had mentioned in a previous conversation about wanting to downsize into a Rambler.
Okay, so you got a neighbor that's getting up in age looking to downsize, huh? That's
correct, yes.
Okay. Would you mind if I gave them a call?
No, not at all. I will give you her name and her phone number.
Okay.
It's Judy Science, and she 801-664.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Got it. Perfect. Well, listen, Richard, I really appreciate that. And by the way, when do you plan on moving?
We've discussed, the possibility of moving, but we haven't determined anything definitive yet, Rob.
So you've been discussing the possibility of moving, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So, Richard, let me ask you this. What circumstances would it be to cause you to move?
Well, just finding the right location, I think, would be the big thing, and the price.
Finding the right price and location?
Yes.
Okay.
Preferably, we'd like to stay in the Mill Creek area or Holiday.
Okay, so you want to stick around where you're at now?
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. Well, let me ask you this. When would you like to be in your new place?
Once again, Rob, there's nothing, set date. It's just that we've discussed it, and we're in the process of now, looking at homes and looking at it, our options.
Okay, so right now you're just kind of looking at options and things like that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, let me ask you this question, Richard. If I found you the property you were looking for, right? I mean, it was in the right location, the right price, and it was a nice Rambler that you're looking for, but the seller wanted to sell, say, in the next 30 to 60 days. That could work for you, couldn't it?
Absolutely it would, yes.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
So you see how I did that, what I used that with? Because when somebody tells you they're not in a hurry, that's kind of like a sales defense, kind of, if you will, right? People don't like to sound vulnerable to a salesperson. So he's not in a hurry. So I'm going to double check that you're not in a hurry. So how do I do that? I bring up a scenario, say, look, and you have to kind of load the question, right? Not if I found you something, would you move in the next 60 days? That's not a loaded question. So let me ask you, so if I found you the house you're looking for, the area you're looking for, the price you want, and had all the features and benefits you were looking for, and see if I already knew what he was looking for, I would add them in there, right? Rambler with an HOA that takes care of all the everything for you. I mean, but the seller wanted to move, like say in the next 60 days. I mean, that could work for you, couldn't it? And he said, yeah, absolutely, right? So then, when they go from I'm not in a hurry to absolutely on the 60 days, because I rephrased the question and I loaded the question. Right? You got to load the question. In other words, with all the things that they're looking for. But that's how you check their motivation and their time frame. That's how you double check it. So does that make sense? So I'm going to unmute everybody. Okay. So we're back. Everybody's unmuted again. So we're 8:26. I'm going to go ahead and cut it short. Typically, we're going to go 8 to 8:30, but I have to get ready for another 8:30 coaching call. My coaching call. My coach is out of town this weekend, so I'm on a group call with some other people. So I got to get ready for that call. But this is recorded. It'll be online later on this afternoon.